In this Going to the Chapel segment, we're talking about wedding design. There are dozens of magazines, books, websites, you name it, to help you plan your big day, but we've got two gentlemen who can help simplify everything. Matthew Trettel and Bruce Vassar are better known as the Wedding Guys. Wedding Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
You are wedding designers extraordinaire. I love what it says on your website. It describes you as part theater directors, part curators of trend.
And no drama.
And no drama. I love it. And you really focus on taking global trends and bringing them to the wedding world.
Yes. That's the whole idea, because there's so many ideas out there that are beyond really the wedding industry. Then we really try to focus some of those new things and fast track them so brides can really be doing the latest and most exciting things for their wedding, because they all want them to be unique and different.
And to be now.
Yes.
Exactly. So you have some great examples for us. Let's talk about the table first.
You know, receptions are such a great way for couples to really personalize their weddings. And so what we're seeing is people really want that kind of fine dining experience now for their wedding reception. So it's not uncommon to see 4 tops like you would at a restaurant versus 8 or 10 at a table, which is really fun because it gives you an opportunity to do a few different things, and certainly centerpieces. We've really seen a huge evolution in that. So we're seeing orbs and really decorative accessories playing a bigger part in the overall decor of weddings, and those can be accented with, you know, simple floral arrangements or orchids, which is really fun.
Yeah, I notice you have no flowers on here, but it totally works. Is that a trend for now, to do things other than flowers?
You know, we're seeing flowers used in more unique ways, which is really fun. We talk about impact pieces a lot, so if you're going to have a ballroom space and you're going to have a wedding, do one huge arrangement. Invest that money in that one piece where people walk in and go, wow, versus a lot of small pieces. Really, it gives you more bang for the buck.
Okay.
The other fun thing we always encourage people to do is take a look at the things that you already are using on the table and consider your flatware. And what can you do different on the table than the traditional setting for the flatware
on
itself.
The sides.
And so this actually becomes decor on the table and gives you a stylized look. Also color. It's great with rental items now because you can get blue glasses. A few years ago, you just didn't have access to things like that. What's interesting with weddings now is it used to be one color. Brides would select a color, and that was their wedding color. Now it's a palette of colors. So you're seeing blues paired with browns and bringing in a toffee color. And so they're really looking at kind of multiple colors.
So is this a palette that's big this year?
Yeah, blue and brown has been really popular.
I love blue and brown. And brown and pink you have here in the gentleman's attire. I don't know if this is this just for grooms or groomsmen as well?
This is actually for both.
Okay.
Because of where fashions have gone, we've kind of evolved away from the white dress, and we're seeing a lot more of the ivories and even the toffees and the mochas. And the brown tuxedos or brown suits look really great with those dress colors. So we've seen the last couple of years kind of that influx of the brown tuxedo.
The pocket square.
The pocket square is becoming very popular. It's almost replacing the boutonniere a little bit. But the one thing that you need to be careful with when doing a suit or a color like the pink is to be careful that it's not too much like prom. That weddings should be an elevated event after prom, so you want to be careful that you're not looking too much like prom. But the brown does help to bring that pink down a little bit. But the pocket squares are becoming very, very popular.
That looks great. And now, I noticed this is folded a little bit differently from the one that you are wearing. Are there rules for how you do that?
No, it's just however it turns out.
Okay.
And there's lots of different ways. In fact, there's books about how you can fold a pocket square.
Because some pocket squares are really big and some are small, so you just have to play with it.
And just make it work.
Exactly.
And then now we have a more traditional tux.
Right. The tuxedo, like I said, will never, ever go away. What I think is interesting about this is the shawl collar, which is kind of reminiscent of the Mad Men, the Rat Pack era, 1950s, 60s. And that's becoming popular. That's a Calvin Klein tuxedo from Savvy Formal Wear. And it's a very sophisticated look. What you're also seeing is the return of the bow tie. And when I say bow tie, it's a much bigger bow tie than what you're used to seeing. And because what they're doing is they're making it look a little bit more that it's hand-tied. It's not just the wrap around the collar and snap it in place. It looks more hand-done.
Now, you say it looks hand-tied. Is it hand-tied, or
No.
can you get it? Oh.
No.
Tricky.
Yeah.
Yep. Perception.
Yes,
Perception.
yes, exactly. And of course, we have to talk about the gown, the bridal gown.
It wouldn't be a wedding
here.
without a bridal
gown,
gown,
wouldn't.
right? Well, and this beautiful gown from Jim Helm is from Victoria Rose Salon here. And what's really interesting about fashion now is it's returning to the sleeves and also spaghetti straps. So your tank tops, you're getting away from the straight across strapless gowns. At least most of them that are strapless now are more on the line of sweetheart necklines. what brides don't realize is that not all brides look good in strapless gowns, and they really need to look at different silhouettes. And you're also seeing a lot more of the flower appliques onto the gowns, the corsages that are built onto the gowns. Really very nice. Bridal gowns are turning back to romance, not to just everyday, plain, ordinary gowns.
Now, is this, correct me if I'm wrong, I may be using the wrong terms, but the ruching and pickups, is that what that's called on the skirts?
These are pickups, but it's also a balloon hem, is what they're calling it as well. And what's nice about this is that it actually has a little bit of a look of a box pleat in the actual angle of the fabric. And what's nice is that this again is becoming very romantic, back to the 50s. Also, we're starting to see a little bit more of the peplums on the back as well.
Now, when you say balloon, we do want to point out though, because you say people are getting back to sleeves, but not right, but not on the sleeves. That was for late 80s, early 90s, what have you.
Yeah, well, we're getting there though. Actually, the sleeves are coming back, and you're starting to see some of those sleeves, but much more demure and very small. Just like you're starting to see the bows coming back on the back, also known as the butt bow.
And the butt bow, I love it.
But it's more of a very Chanel, very, very soft, very small, very nice.
Well, if you've got questions for the wedding guys, like if your sleeves are going to work or what type of decor you should go with, you have a Q&A section on your website. I noticed you give great answers, and people ask you everything.
They do.
It's theweddingguys.com.
That's correct.
Yes.
You can find them there. You can, of course, also get there from our website, mycarolinatoday.com. Matthew and Bruce, thank you guys so much for coming.
Thanks for having us.
And when we come back, we'll be talking about fleas and ticks. Stay tuned.